Trump told you this morning it was a great time to buy. Did you listen? If you did, you're rich.
The markets right now are extremely good.
The stock market had its best day in American history. The president announced he's pausing reciprocal tariffs for 90 days on every country and dropping all tariffs to 10% on all countries except China. China just got hit with a 125% tariff. They're the only country that lost, and they lost big. And that's the point. China never picked up the phone. Instead, they retaliated. The rest of the world, our allies, wouldn't stop calling.
These countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are dying to make a deal. Please, please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything. I'll do anything, sir.
Trump created maximum leverage for himself, and now his team's sitting pretty, taking meetings and doing deals that put America first. And if we don't like how the negotiation's going, our partners have seen the kind of pain we can cause, and they're motivated to do what we want, or else we'll make them feel the same pain. Everyone said you don't want to be last to come to the table, and China was last.
We saw the successful negotiating strategy that President Trump implemented a week ago today. It has brought more than 75 countries forward to negotiate. It took great courage for him to stay the course until this moment. And what we have ended up with here, as I told everyone a week ago, they're in this very spot, do not retaliate and you will be rewarded. So every country in the world who wants to come and negotiate, we are willing to hear you.
This was a test. If you called, you're an ally. And we fly you in for a trade summit. China didn't call this morning. They retaliated with an 84% tariff on American exports. And that told us exactly who they were, not our friends. This was a trap, and China walked right into it.
This was his strategy all along, and that you might even say that he goaded China into a bad position. They responded. They have shown themselves to the world to be the bad actors, and we are willing to cooperate with our allies and with our trading partners who did not retaliate. It wasn't a hard message. Don't retaliate. Things will turn out well.
A trapped rat lashes out. So we have to manage the death of China so that we don't get sick. China's embarrassed about being so isolated, so we have to throw him a great funeral and tell him it's a birthday party.
Many of you in the media clearly missed the art of the deal. You clearly failed to see what President Trump is doing here. You tried to say that the rest of the world would be moved closer to China when in fact we've seen the opposite effect. The entire world is calling the United States of America, not China, because they need our markets, they need our consumers, and they need this president in the Oval Office to talk to them. And that's exactly why more than 75 countries have called, because the United States of America is the best place in the world to do business. And as the president has shown great courage, as the secretary has said, in choosing to retaliate against China even higher.
After unleashing a pandemic and now this, China is not in a position to play hardball, and they'll have to sign something to ease the pain, or else they won't last long in the New World Order.
A deal can be made with every one of them. A deal's going to be made with China. A deal's going to be made with every one of them. And there'll be fair deals. I just want fair. They will be fair deals for everybody. But they weren't fair to the United States. They were sucking us dry, and you can't do that.
We made China, and we can break them. The consensus over there is their economy is already having a heart seizure, slowly grinding downwards. The only way they survive is selling products to us. So America has the power to set the terms. Every country around the world is moving production out of there, and they know it. If China had played fair for the last 4 decades, they would have built up a little goodwill. But they're a predatory power trying to wipe us off the map. And Mr. Wonderful isn't feeling so wonderful.
I'm advocating 400%. I do business in China. They don't play by the rules. They've been in the WTO for decades. They have never abided by any of the rules they agreed to when they came in for decades. They cheat, they steal IP. I can't litigate in their courts. They take product, technology, they steal it, they manufacture it, and sell it back here. I want Xi on an airplane to Washington to level the playing field. Xi can only stay the supreme leader if people are employed. America is the #1 economy on earth with all the cards. We will not have that forever. It's time to squeeze Chinese heads into the wall.
Well, that's a graphic image, and it's starting to happen. Chinese cargo ships are turning around in the middle of the Pacific. You know what else is in those cargo ships? Fentanyl. Send it back. There's nowhere for their cargo to go with a 125% tariff. If you bought furniture from China after it got slapped on, you're paying double. And now the move is to buy American. The Amish make great stuff. Or less expensive furniture from another country, but not China. Remember how Reagan crushed the Soviet Union? He used economic force and military spending to break them into pieces. Trump has an opportunity to do the exact same thing here in China. It's what everybody has always wanted.
Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, Crazy Nancy, they've wanted to do this for years, but they never had a president that had the guts to do it, because it does take guts. So just be cool. It's going to work out. It's going to work out, and it's working out. I can tell you, working out maybe faster than I thought. It's going to take a little conditioning. It's a transition to. I think it's a transition to greatness. It's going to be greatness. Our country is going to be. There'll be nothing like it, and people investing in our country, they're going to do better than they've ever done before.
Trump has the cards, and he's telling everyone, be cool. J.P. Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, he's cool.
Trade deals are very large and very complex. They can't be done overnight, but you really have to have teams working them to get them right. I'm taking a calm view, but I think it could get worse if we don't make some progress here. Let them settle down, take a deep breath, negotiate some trade deals. That's the best thing they can do.
Money managers on Wall Street are finally starting to cool off.
We needed to reset our trade policy. The U.S. is the second freest trading market in the world financially after Japan, and is the freest trading market in the world considering non-tariff barriers. Why is that written in stone? Why shouldn't we be the 10th or the 20th? The policies that have been in place since the end of World War II are not fit for today.
It makes sense Democrats want to do nothing on trade. They're stuck in the past. They think we're living in Nazi Germany. Before today's record rally, Democrats were screaming, who's going to make my Nikes?
Let's pretend for a moment the sneakers are going to get made here in the United States. Who's going to work in those factories? It's one of the reasons we have such a need for immigrants in this country, because Americans aren't willing to take the lowest skilled jobs.
She's right. We don't have sweatshops here. You might pay more for Nikes, unless we make them in Vietnam or Greenland. And Chris Matthews is worried about wood.
What are we going to do? Have more lumber made in the United States now? What is our plan now? Are we going to make more wood in this country because of our trade deal? I don't think so.
Wood grows on trees, Chris. Get out of Manhattan. The United States produces the most lumber in the whole world. Now that Trump's giving the world a 90-day tariff hiatus to cut America first trade deals, Democrats want to know, what did you know and when did you know it?
WTF? Who's in charge?
The President of the United States is in charge.
If you came here knowing that you were going to be turned off, that these tariffs were going to be turned off, why didn't you include that in your opening statement? Why didn't you reference that as part of your testimony?
Well, I don't disclose my conversations with the President, sir.
If it's not market manipulation, what is it? Who's benefiting? What billionaire just got richer? WTF?
Adam Schiff wants Trump investigated for dropping tariffs. The exact thing Schiff demanded he do.
I'm writing to the White House to demand who knew in advance that the president was going to once again flip-flop on tariffs, and are people cashing in? There is just all too much opportunity for people in the White House and the administration to be insider trading.
Insider trading, that's funny. At 9, Trump said it was a great time to buy, and the market rallied after the tariff pause. How much you want to bet Nancy made a killing? Paulie P's not a panicking. Schiff's a panicking. And you can't trust a panicking.
The shrill voices that you're hearing this week about tariffs are the same scoundrels and frauds who never thought twice about when the United States lost 90,000 factories and plants. Think of that, 90,000. The same people now telling me about how to deal with China are the ones who sold out America for decades to China. I'm proud to be the president for the workers, not the outsourcers, the president who stands up for Main Street, not Wall Street. who protects the middle class, not the political class, and who defends America, not trade cheaters.
This is a test for everybody. Are you for cheap slave labor in China? A country that gets really rich taking our money and then just sends us viruses, drugs, and spies, and steals our factories, spirit, and lives? Or are you for the U.S. and the rest of our trading allies, who are all just looking for a good bargain and don't want to die doing it? Wall Street's, they're starting to get it. Economic patriotism is in the air.
For too long, financial policy has served large financial institutions at the expense of smaller ones. No more. No more. For the next 4 years, the Trump agenda is focused on Main Street. It's Main Street's turn. It's Main Street's turn to hire workers. It's Main Street's turn to drive investment. And it's Main Street's turn to restore the American dream.
Trump was elected to restore the American dream. And for many Americans, it's been dead for decades. It might be scary for the other half of the country who made it to watch Trump wrestle it back to life for those who haven't yet. The president is just trying to give every American an opportunity to be great, because we're all in this together.
Look, there are a lot of countries do a lot of things well, but there's no country with quite the innovation we have, quite the capabilities. To me, we have this unbelievable position energy, this unbelievable. Our financial services, we have the best financial markets in the world. I'm talking about all of it: capital markets, hedge funds, private equity, investors. And it is part of the flywheel that creates all this innovation you see. And you don't just see it in New York, you see it in Silicon Valley, but you see it in St. Louis, in Kansas, in Austin, in Nashville. And so, this country is unbelievable.
Innovation isn't possible when China steals our jobs and takes our trade secrets and then just ships us poison and shoddy products. It's like playing golf with a guy who lies about his handicap, and he keeps beating you and beating you and beating you. Are you just going to let him lie and take your money? No, you say no. You hit him in the head with a wedge and you never play him again. Sometimes you just have to trust your gut and do the right thing. And it's not over yet, but it looks like it's going in the right direction.
I know what the hell I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. And you know what I'm doing, too. That's why you vote for me.
The host of Making Money, Charles Payne, is here. All right, Charles, were you a panicking? You were a little bit of a panicking, weren't you? Were you?
Nah, no way, my man. No way at all. I told her, listen, we did some buying, a little bit of buying the last few days, but more importantly, I told people not to panic. Every single day on my show, our ratings have gone through the roof because people are coming to see. I'm like one of the few people out there, and it's not just I'm saying don't panic. I'm showing historical facts, right? What's going on, what's happening here. And I love everything that you just said, because this is about Main Street. Wall Street's going to get theirs. Anyone out there that doesn't think eventually Wall Street and the stock market will turn around haven't been paying attention for the last 3 years, 30 years, or 300 years. Don't worry about that part. It's time to start focusing on regular folks.
So when the people on CNBC, they call him your competitor, but no one watches them. They all watch you, Charles. When they panic and their all eyeballs are popping out of their skulls and laying on the desk, it freaks everybody out. I wake up, I turn on CNBC to just check it out, see what it's doing. And it's like watching someone die on live television.
It is so infuriating to me because I think it's journalistic malpractice, and I'll tell you why. Those are smart people. They know the market as well. And this sort of thing, like, anyone who panicked and sold NVIDIA 3 days ago, don't they regret it deeply already today? And here's the thing, Jesse, we've got two sets of data out there. One they call soft data, the surveys. And the surveys are really frightening. Of course they're frightening. People watch TV and get frightened 24 hours a day. You walk up to them with a clipboard and say, how do you feel? I'm scared. But after they tell you they're scared, they go into the store. You know what happened this morning before the tariff stuff? Delta reported earnings. Phenomenal. You know what else we learned? Last week, mortgage applications to buy new homes up 20%. So people are still living their lives and trying to have the American dream. And, so as mortgage rates come down, as gasoline prices go down, that's great for the economy. But so people are afraid, but they're living their lives.
So people call you a callous animal if you tell them not to panic. They say, if you say don't look at your 401k, don't look at your bank account, they say, what are you talking? How could you not look at my bank account? How could you say that? I've just lost, $7 million, $20 million. How could you say that, Jesse? Am I wrong to tell people not to panic?
Oh, absolutely. You know what I said yesterday? I said, this is my 7th bear market as a Wall Street professional, and I hope I have 7 more. That means I'll live to 100, because they come around every 5 or 6 years. Corrections come around once a year. It's part of the game. Stay in it. The richest people in the world are in the stock market. And by the way, it's democratic. Anyone can get in. Don't let them spook you out. You know, one of the reasons Wall Street was bearish coming into the year? Because too many retail investors were long. That's their thinking. The retail investors are in the stock market. They're too exuberant. We've got to find a way to shake them out because, yeah, they want you in the market as long as you're paying fees to them.
Well, I don't know enough about it the way you know about it, but I've seen enough to know that it goes up and down and you can't panic and you can't sell. You just got to play the long game. Charles,
you know why? Because you look around and guess what? One day again, we'll be at an all-time high. You'll say, golly, I shouldn't have sold.
That's right. And then I'll cash out and I'll retire.
Yeah.
At age 100. Thanks a lot, Charles. Good to see you. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.